Yo, fam, what's up? Can't believe I just did that. I just jumped on here and I'm missing something, but it's okay. It's going to give you guys a couple minutes to see who's going to join me for this unplanned and unscheduled conversation that we're about to have here really quickly. Yeah, like I don't have my stuff for my music or anything. Dude, you are so unprepared. You are so unprepared. So we may have to go without it. I'm just sitting here thinking about some things. It's like, you know what, let me jump on here and see who I can get to participate in this conversation. So what I want to do, and if some of you catch this later, that's okay. I want to talk about a couple of things though. So firstly, I mentioned the other day about over the other day about GrayCode, right? So what I'm calling it GrayCode. I mean, look at this, right? So if you think about gray-haired people who code, right? That's kind of what that idea in my head was. But what I really want to do is I want to create a community where we can come together and learn, right? I can teach you. Hopefully, I'll learn some things from you as well. I'll teach you, you teach me. But let me be very specific about what I'm thinking about. And then I have a couple questions, and then I have something that you're going to want to see. I think you're going to want to see it. I think it's pretty neat. All right. So, what I'm thinking about is there is this aspect of learning how to create using these AI tools. I think I said to you a year ago, if you had asked me, I would have said that you need to become a proficient user of these systems. I think we're beyond that now. I think that we're at the place where you need to be a creator. You need to be a creator. There needs to be something that you can produce using these tools. Um, let me just make sure that if I get any chat activity, I can actually see that. Hopefully, I really did come on here unprepared. I apologize. I don't have my theme music or anything. Okay, but being proficient is one thing. And if the only thing you're saying is ChatGPT, you're probably not there. If you're seeing what's happening, I gave you a bunch of use cases or stories or things that are happening. I don't want to review those. There's others. Um, so again, a year ago would have been get proficient. Now it's you got to be able to create something, right? Because what if your current source of income dries up, goes away, gets depleted or impacted in some way? Like what are you going to do? And so as I've given myself a couple of days to get clarity on it, this is what I'm thinking. That I want to be able to help you explore three things. So the first is how to create applications, right? So that's the coding side of it. How you can create applications using these technologies. I know somebody's like, I could never do that. We're gonna get to that. The other is to build products and services with it, meaning that AI is sort of like your manufacturing base that you use to create products or services. So things that you can provide to other people, where the juice behind the scenes is what AI gives you. Let me give you an example. So, like a really decent side gig um, is or was like basic bookkeeping, right? For small businesses, individuals, just helping them keep up with their stuff, entering things. You can do that and now do it better, faster, and thereby increase your margins using AI tools. Maybe it's reporting that people need. Maybe it's helping them with, um, building strategy and processes and all that stuff. And again, if that sounds daunting, we got this super juice back here called AI, which makes those things a lot easier. But the other that I think is really more, maybe the most interesting, is how do you take your current base of knowledge and experience and create information products based on that? So effectively, how to's, right? Like, can you create a how to book? or a how-to service. What have you learned or been experienced in that you can teach to others so that they can gain advantage, something that they can do and go and make money from. And so if you have anything in you that thinks that you want to be in a position to earn money using AI, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Um, Now, here's the thing that I think we have to settle. So I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're saying, "Man, you make this stuff look so easy." Um, Maybe it's not all easy, but I've been at this for a while. I have been in this phase of learning and then implementing, using, growing technology for a really long time. I have an appetite for it, and so kind of it's the way that I think. But I'm also one that likes to leave breadcrumbs and teach. So I think that I can simplify these things in a way that allows you kind of at your own pace to learn, right? So I don't think it's too difficult. But what I may do is like the whole idea of what gray code would be. There's a process that I'm going to go through. So right now I'm just sort of, well, the word is ideation. I'm ideating. It's just the process of creating ideas. I am ideating through it now. But what I think would be interesting to show you is now what do I do with the new idea? How do I bring shape and structure to a new idea? How do I validate whether or not it has potential market appeal? Is there an audience? Is there someone who has this particular problem that I'm looking to solve? And so I think maybe sort of a first pass at this would be you all getting to watch me go through my process to take this idea called gray code and see how do I shape it out? How do I build the strategy? How do I use AI to do that? And I should have included in here writing your books. Some of you want to write books. Ye- There's a way to get that done fast. So I'm not just saying have AI write your book for you. Although there's a lot of people out there who are writing how-to books or they're publishing how-to books and AI is doing 100% of the writing. But I'm saying, how do you take your ideas, if you have a manuscript or even an outline, and go through a process to start to develop that? And I'll give you one of the keys is let AI be your editor, right? And there's different types of editors, whether it's a developmental editor, or the ones that kind of do all that final grammar and stuff. But I really think if you're focused, boom, 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 you can get through it so fast, so much faster than what you're doing now. Because some of you have been talking about a book for literally eons, and you don't have page one, you don't have an outline, you don't know your audience, you don't know exactly not the story that you want to tell, but how that story needs to be told so that it makes the impact that it needs to make. So I want us to get together and workshop those types of things. So maybe we do a phase where we're just going to go through a couple weeks of let's write our books, right? I have another book just sort of actually I have probably three books in different stages of complete, right? So one is the Live Free Financial Blueprint. Another is on being a better husband. Um, yeah, there. So we could just go through that, right? So when I wrote my, if you remember in 2021 or two, I published three books that year. And by click, 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 I was at it, right? So, but there's easier, faster ways to get through that now, and AI can help you. Okay, so here's what I want to show you. And I'm saying this because I need like three people. I need three of you who are open-minded in the area of astrology. Now, I know some of you come from certain backgrounds, religiously, doctrinally. That's like, oh no, you can't do that. I'm not on that page, and I don't want to tear your thing down. So if this is not for you, then it's not for you. But I'm going to tell your story really quickly. Is that a couple of people that I pay attention to have been talking about a really unique astrological event that is going to happen next month. So I've been hearing it for a couple months and kind of seeing some of the pieces come together for some of the things that they say that this is going to mean. And I find it interesting, right? I don't go hard in the paint. I don't know enough. Let me just say that. I do not know enough. I am not an astrologist. But this is also going to show you the power of what you can do with an idea. So just stick with me for a couple minutes here. So hearing that, and then on Instagram the other day, I ran across a video, and there's this young lady talking about this historical astrological event. But this one really caught my attention, right? It's like, okay, I need to really listen to this. And I did. I listened to it maybe 3 or 4 times. And then I recorded it. After I recorded it, I got it turned into a transcript, right? I'm giving you some of my process. I turned it into a transcript. I put that into an LLM. What's an LLM? Your Chat GPTs, Perplexity, Gemini, Copilot, to see, is this legit? Is this for real? Right? And if it is, what does this mean? Or how does one draw meaning from it in the way that, like, what does this mean for my life in terms of these potential world events that could happen? Um, and then I got that. I was like, oh, this is fascinating, like really fascinating. And then it went to, now I ran it again and gave it more information about me personally, because now I want to narrow the scope. So then I'm like, okay, so if I'm really going to pay attention to this, what I need is an astrologer and I need a life coach. And so I have my tool, my LLM, my Chat GPT, if you will, to give me the persona of an astrologist and the persona of a life coach. When I asked that question, it said, I'll give you those two, but you might want these other three as well, and suggested three other personas. Like, oh, this is now really getting interesting to me. So, long story short, I took all of that and I bundled it all up and I turned it into an app. Why did I do that? Because I didn't want to have to keep having this conversation with ChatGPT at the prompt. Let me turn it into software. I have that skill. So let me do that. Um, and then let's see where we go from there. And so what I'm saying is I need 3 people, maybe 5, but this has to happen really quickly, who are willing to log into this thing, complete the little information that it's going to ask you for, and to just get your report and just tell me what you think. I don't need to see your report. That's your business. But I am going to show you a little bit of mine. So what I want to do is go over here and show you an application that I built. This was running very, very quickly. I'm talking certainly less than a couple of hours. And it's going to be what you see now in no more than 4 hours of my time. Right. And I know that for the right audience, I could put a paywall. What's a paywall? That's a Stripe, that's a PayPal, that's a whatever, where people, give up their credit card information and pay to get access to it. I know I could do that. Right now it's open. All right. And so I'm going to show you, it named itself Cosmic Mandate. Maybe I call it something else, but I'm not marketing. I'm trying to get information and feedback. All right. And so, and if you know people who have an interest in astrology or have knowledge of astrology, because again, I don't, um, show them this. Okay. And hopefully this works right. I want to say that I can make this bigger, but again, I don't have my other screen here. I'm not trying to mess this up. All right. I think I got it. And I think you can still hear me. I think you can. And maybe you can still see that this is a mess. All right. Anyways, let me log into this thing. And I haven't logged in over here. It's not going to show you all of what would happen when you first log in because I already have an account here. So, let's do all that. Get logged in, and then hopefully everything comes up well. There you go. All right. So we are in and looking at my report. And so the first thing that it gives you is just kind of an overview, again, talking about this set of events that's going to happen and their meaning. And then it starts to talk about upcoming transit dates. This is a specific term. It talks about financial windows. And then I mentioned these other personas. So these are down here. I don't know if you can see them completely. These are what they're calling my wisdom guide. So Celestine is the astrologer, Marcus is the life coach, um, Dr. Something is the depth psychologist, Kenji is the partnership architect, which is really just talking about who am I partnered with, who you working with at any stage, whether that's a sort of your life partner, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, whatever, or business partners, other close associates, and then there's a somatic guide. And so I can actually go in and have a conversation with either one of them. But let me show you more of this, kind of what this provides. So you get the overall mandate, and because it comes from data that you enter, so name, birth date, place of birth, time of birth, if you know it, other things about where you are, where you want to be, all that sort of stuff. And it uses that to make this very personal to you. You can edit this and then it'll regenerate it. So if you go and change some of your data, it'll regenerate it. Pretty cool. And then it creates this 30, 60, 90. So it's based on, again, this set of happenings. These are things that you should consider. So it lays out objectives, tasks, um, habits, spiritual practices. So I think this piece is actually pretty neat too. And then there's this 2-year roadmap. So I'm not giving you all the data because this is mine. And then I created a place for journaling. So you see, I got some stuff down here. Um, so you can journal here. And then, like I said, then you can communicate with the guides. So, like I think I started a conversation um, with the psychologist because I'm trying to get familiar myself. So I just asked the question, how can you support me on my journey? And I got all of that input back. Again, that's my personal stuff. So I ain't trying to have y'all up in my business, but so I think that, for a couple hours of work, not too shabby, right? And this is part of the power of learning this particular skill set, if you will, the ability to do stuff like this is you can just have an idea and then you can turn it into something like very, very, very easily and quickly. So that's what I did. But I want to get feedback from other people. So at no cost uh, to the first 3 to 5 people who just hit me in my inbox or respond to the chat here, say, "Hey, I'm interested." Then we can inbox each other. I can show you how to get access to Cosmic Mandate. I think it's very interesting, but this is the type of thing that I'm talking about. So for me, this is just a skill now. This is just something I know how to do, especially for applications that are this simple. I mean, with myself and Optimus, we built much more complex systems than this, but the ability for you to be able to convert your ideas into a consumable form, right? You have these ideas, so how do people get to them? Do they consume them because they're hearing them? Do they consume them because they're seeing them? Are they consuming them because they're experiencing them? They have it in their hands. This is what I want to help you all get to. It's hugely gratifying to do. So again, if you're just catching this, go back and watch from the beginning. If this is something that interests you, the first 3 to 5 people will get access to Cosmic Mandate. The only thing I'm going to ask is one, when I give you the credentials, don't share them. I'll know anyway. I'll be able to. I can at least see if people log in. We don't look at. I won't. I won't have to be. I will not be able to see what your output is, but I will know if other people get access to the system because you shared the information I gave them. And then, that wouldn't go well. Yeah, so do that. Check it out. It's pretty cool stuff. I think it is anyway. I'm finding it to be really, really helpful because it's not a bunch of pie in the sky stuff. It is really very focused on, hey, you need to do this. You need to think about this. You need to answer these questions. So it's been very, it's forcing me to think, right? And I think this is the right time to maybe address some things in the way that I've thought about them or done them in the past so I can get the maximum uh, benefit from those things. So that's where we are. All right. Less than 20 minutes. How about that? All right, let me know what's up, y'all. Peace out.